Yeah, so last week we brought you the news that the new Disney Plus Star Wars show, The Acolyte, dropped its first trailer and poster. And since then, there has been a steady stream of controversy online about the diversity of the cast. The trailer, which shows just over 100 seconds of footage from the 8-episode series, features Korean actor Lee Jung-jae, queer actors Amanda Lassenberg, Charlie Barnett, and Rebecca Henderson. The lack of white males featured in the trailer has led to an outpouring by far-right conservatives and YouTube personalities to claim that Disney is pushing a leftist agenda and going to an opposite extreme to ensure that diversity is front and center instead of a good story. Very little is actually known about the show at this point, other than it takes place 100 years before The Phantom Menace, and will be dropping on Disney Plus in just over 2 months with a 2-part episode on June 4th. The remarkable thing to me about this entire alleged controversy, and Nick, I have feelings about this sort of thing, is I honestly didn't even notice it until it was brought up by people online. And I know I'm not making that up. I literally did not notice. I was so excited by lightsabers and intrigue and martial arts and the look of it and a freaking Wookiee. I was so excited. I didn't even notice it. So I'm not even going to go into the Star Wars is for everyone mantra, right? I'm just going to go into it and say Star Wars is a fictional galaxy that includes space and fantastic technology with apparent limitations, sentient robots, an infinite number of aliens, and apparently kaiju-sized monsters on every single planet. Thank you, Bad Batch. So if all you noticed in that trailer about a completely fictional world is that you didn't see enough white guys, you have outed yourself as the bigot, and you are politicizing a fairy tale. Your mind has been poisoned by these political agendas, this propaganda. And if you've only watched 100 seconds of the series and you've made your decisions about it because of what you saw, because you saw an Asian man, a black woman, and queer people in it that outnumbered the white men you're used to seeing in your Star Wars, then you're a racist, period. Plain and simple. End of my rant. Don't watch it. Don't talk about it. Go away. That's where I stand on this, Nick. And I've said a lot about it lately, but that's about as far as I think I want to go with that. But do you have any thoughts on it? Any comments?
Well, I do, and I think there is a fine line here, and I'm in full agreement with you. You know that as someone who has literally spent 35 years of their life living in the Deep South,
right.
And if living in the Deep South wasn't enough, I grew up in Selma, Alabama, and I live in Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of connection to things like racial history and that kind of thing. So there is a fine line when you say something like, "I didn't notice." It's the same thing as saying like, I don't see color. Like we don't say we don't see color because we do recognize that we are all different and unique and individual.
Sure.
But the reality is if that's the only thing you can focus on, I agree with you. What I looked at and saw was this looks like an awesome story. This looks like characters I want to get to know. This looks like something that doesn't look like my everyday life, which is full of a bunch of people who may or may not look just like me. It looks like Star Wars. That was the only thought I had, is it looks like Star Wars. And you're right. It's okay to be excited about it. But the reality is, if this is the one thing you're focused on, you're 100% right. It's Taylor Swift. It's you. Hi, you're the problem. It's you.
Right.
That's where we have landed on this whole thing. So,
and I mean, there's not even an argument to it. You can't even argue it anymore.
There's nothing to argue.
That's the thing. There were some people that tried to say, "Oh, it's breaking canon." We don't even know.
No, we don't know the canon because we don't know what the story is.
Right. So let's kick back and enjoy in June a brand. Like I said before, I am so excited about this because just like Force Awakens, all I know is that I know nothing about it, and I can't wait to see it. And there's a bunch of people who are pissed off because there's a black person in it, and that's where we are. But I couldn't be more excited, and June 4th can't get here fast enough.